Hello, and thank you for watching this regional forecast for the Corn Belt. I'm Andrew Pritchard, meteorologist with Nutrien Ag Solutions. As we look at the last 72 hours of precipitation, we've got some problem areas beginning to show up here. We've seen a lot of precipitation kind of along and east of this line, and when you add in the 4 days before that, looking at the last week total, we really can clearly see this problem area here across portions of central Missouri into central Illinois and northeastern Illinois, an area that, as we look at the soil moisture change from March 31st to April 29th, this was part of an area that had really been drying considerably over the last month, finally shifting away from this very wet pattern. But as we check back in with this map here over the next several days, we'll continue to see this, beginning to re-moisten, going the direction we did not want to be going. Now, there is some good news as we begin to move to a pattern here that features a ridge in the west and a trough in the east. It is going to bring in some drier weather across the Corn Belt, but there will be patches of heavier precipitation here as we head through the next 7 days, and we'll take a look at where those patches of wetter conditions will be as we head through this forecast video. Now, temperatures across the region this morning, holding on to a cooler bias here across the east while we're starting to warm back up across the high plains. Temperatures this morning in the 50s and 60s across the central and northern plains, meanwhile in the 30s and 40s across the Great Lakes and the eastern Corn Belt, even down into the Mid-South, and that is on the heels of our departing storm system here. We've got a lot of cold air still coming in on the backside with another disturbance moving in from the high plains. We've got warm air advection already beginning across that region. So the reason for the temperature disparity here, a departing storm system in the east and then a approaching storm system here in the west. As we look at the radar here, again, we see the departing storm system. This is the one that brought the severe weather and the heavy rain to the midsection of the U.S. here, the central and eastern Corn Belt. Here comes our next approaching system that's bringing some showers and maybe a few thunderstorms to portions of the high plains this morning. And as we take this through the next several days, we'll watch this disturbance. The main area of low pressure is going to track off to the north, but it's going to kind of drape a front through the region. That's going to allow some showers and storms to flare back up as we head deeper into the weekend. So taking it to midday Friday, getting into Friday afternoon now, and then this would be 6 p.m. on Friday. Still really a great day for many across the Corn Belt, and the great weather is going to continue into Saturday for a lot of folks too. So 10 p.m. Friday as we head to bed then, looking a bit like this. We'll take it on into the Friday night into Saturday morning time frame. This will be sunrise on Saturday morning now. And this is when the area of low pressure off to the north, right here across the UP of Michigan, and then we've got our frontal boundary just kind of draped back across this region. So as we head into Saturday, we'll start to see some of these showers and storms flaring back up across this region. This would be mid-afternoon Saturday, 3 p.m. Now you're seeing that front start to light up here as we get later into the day on Saturday. Getting into Saturday evening, Saturday night now, and this is where, again, frontal boundary draped across this region. We've got an approaching disturbance from the west that's going to travel over the top of that, bringing another round of lift to the region, kicking off more showers and storms. So this is midnight on Saturday, heading into Sunday morning. And then we'll take this to the end of our NAM loop here. This would be sunrise on Sunday, watching for another round of showers and storms across portions of eastern Missouri into central Illinois, an area that we don't need it. Again, this area has been hit very hard over the last 7 days. And then these continue off to the east as we head deeper into the morning on Sunday. This is what it would look like here at noon on Sunday. So this next round of showers and storms starting to make its way across the Ohio River into the northeast region. So total precipitation between now and the end of the weekend, taking it all the way through Sunday. Again, here are the two corridors here that kind of flare up. We've got a round of here that we could see an inch or more across the high plains, western Nebraska, portions of southeastern Wyoming. But more importantly, I would say, is this strip right here from Kansas City through portions of central Illinois into central Indiana, the southern portion of Ohio, kind of along and north of the Ohio River Valley. And again, specifically where this band of heavier rain sets up late Saturday into Sunday morning, between Interstate 72, Interstate 70 corridors here, from northeastern Missouri into central and southern Illinois. This is going to be important to see because, again, this is a region that was hit hard over the last several days, and they just do not need excess precipitation as you kind of drive around in this area. We've already got standing water on the fields, just reminiscent of last year already, even though we're not really repeating that pattern. It's just been kind of an unlucky week across this region. So we take a look at the 500 millibar vorticity plot, and again, here's the first disturbance making its way off to the north. It's going to drag that cold front across this region, letting it stall out. As we head deeper into the weekend, then we see our next disturbance. It's rather disorganized, but you see coming out here as we get into the Monday and Tuesday time frame. This is going to set off another chance for some showers across the region. And we can see that here with the European models. The precipitation forecast will bring it back to Friday, take it quickly through the weekend just to show its evolution here, very similar to the high resolution NAM model. The area of low pressure here along the U.S. and Canada border. As we head into Saturday morning, this is Saturday afternoon now, Saturday evening. Here's our frontal boundary again, kind of extended right across this region. You see the patchy showers already kicking off here as we get into Saturday night. Let's take it into Sunday morning now. This is when we're seeing that round of heavier precipitation across this region that is concerning for some. As you get into Sunday morning, midday Sunday, Sunday afternoon now, and then Sunday evening, 6 p.m. Again, our precipitation here, the first round beginning to depart here across the eastern Corn Belt. Here's our next disturbance, though, beginning to emerge as we get into Monday morning. This would be midday Monday now. And again, that frontal boundary just kind of stalled right along this area. So this disturbance is going to run kind of along and south of that. Here we go into Tuesday morning now. Sunrise on Tuesday. And then by Tuesday evening, this next one is making its way out. Perhaps a round of showers, maybe even a few flurries here on the backside as we get into Tuesday night and Wednesday morning, but that is a very light disturbance. That'll then take us into a relatively quiet late Wednesday into Thursday. As we get into Friday, we've got another wild card trying to swing in here from the northern high plains, and we'll leave the details on that one for some of our later forecasts. So as we take a look at the forecast over the next week, comparing or combining the first disturbance this weekend and then that next little upper level wave that travels along the stalled out frontal boundary through this region. Now again, we see pretty good agreement here in that corridor from central Kansas and across the Ohio River Valley. Where we see some disagreement here is kind of on the northern side with how heavy and where exactly that precipitation is going to fall across the Dakotas into Minnesota and Wisconsin. We can take a look at this another way. We're looking at the probability of 1 inch or more of precipitation accumulating here through the next week. We've got the European ensemble on the left, the American GFS ensemble on the right. Again, pretty good agreement in our corridors to watch here. This would be western Nebraska, and then we've got the Ohio River Valley from Missouri across the southern halves of Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio, portions of Kentucky. So good agreement here with these two corridors with the GFS. Where we see some disagreement, it's going to be that corridor up here across northern Minnesota into northern Wisconsin, where the GFS is much more gung-ho about some heavy precipitation across that region than the European model. Now, again, as we build that ridge in across the west, we're going to be setting up a temperature pattern like this, featuring, again, high pressure in this region, upper level low pressure across the Hudson Bay. It's going to set the stage for some record warmth across the southeast. We're not going to be doing record cold across the Midwest, but we will be shifting into a cooler pattern. As we look at the GFS ensemble in the 6 to 10 day time frame, so even beyond the next week, continuing to see a feature or a pattern that features this ridge in the west, troughing in the east. And so, you know what this will do as we head into the first week of May, climatological peak severe weather season. Bringing in cooler air from the Arctic across the Midwest, across the Central Plains, is about as opposite of drawing warm, humid air northward from the Gulf of Mexico as you can get. So at least as we head through the first 7 to 10 days of May, it's not going to be completely quiet, but during a time when we'd be watching for some more active severe weather across this section of the country, we will definitely be getting off to a quieter start in May in respect to severe weather across the midsection of the country. Let's finish with a look at the temperatures. High temperatures over the next 5 days. Here is Friday's highs. Again, very warm off to the west. Cooler temperatures still beginning to shift off across the east. So get into Saturday, what's likely going to be a great day for many across the Corn Belt. The nicest day certainly here across central Illinois, where this video is being recorded here. High temperatures near 80 degrees, a mix of clouds and sunshine. As we head into the day on Sunday, we'll see that round of cloudiness and precipitation across this region, keeping temperatures down just a bit. And then as we get into Monday and Tuesday, watching for that cooler air mass to begin sinking into the region. Now again, we're not talking about record-breaking cold. We are getting into the first days of May, so we're talking about 50s and 60s in a lot of areas, but that is going to, again, be on the cooler side as we head through the first 10 days or so. Overnight lows tomorrow morning still on the warm side, but as we head into Sunday and Monday, starting to see things cool back off, and then those temperatures will cool even more as we head on into Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, bringing in that much cooler air mass that looks to linger for the first 7 to 10 days of May. Have a wonderful day, a fantastic weekend, and we'll talk to you again on Monday morning.